Good morning, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back to another trading session. Well, it is Tuesday, the day before FOMC. tomorrow we will have FOMC, as you might know already. So yeah, quite surprised of a price action on a pre-market session here. As you can see, price is just moving to the upside without giving us any type of retrace to the downside. As you can see here, just a small London manipulation to the downside here, but that's all. The new week opening gap was left behind, as you can see here from yesterday's price action. Yeah, we kind of talked about it. Yes, yesterday we mentioned that if price was indeed in a hurry to get to the upside, it will leave. It would leave the new week opening gap behind untapped, and it kind of left it untapped. So not even the first quadrant, as you can see here, was reached. And yeah, big expansion to the upside right before 9:30. We have these pre-market lows here. Yeah, so these are the ones that matter the most, I guess. These pre-market lows. I will mark 9:30 open as well. So this is the 9:30 open candle as well. This one, the bearish one, yes. So 9:30 open here. And yeah, it's to me, I cannot be bearish in this type of environment, as you might think. So yesterday we projected price to the upside, as you can see here. This was the last leg, the manipulation leg on the hourly chart on ES. And yeah, as you can see here, this projection is being respected quite well. Yesterday we kind of tapped 2.5 standard deviation, and now price is still moving to the upside. And as I mentioned before, we have the big figure. We are approaching the big figure, which is 7,000, and -4 standard deviation. Yeah, it's a bit above 7,000, but it has some confluence as well. So yeah, guys, it's kind of hard to play these all-time high markets because we are in a uncharted territory. We just have our small projections to work with. And yeah, the intraday projection here that I took from today's London manipulation, which is this small leg to the downside, well, it kind of indicates us that price is just moving to the upside. It kind of stopped here at 1.5 standard deviation. It's now working the 2.5 standard deviation, and the next target, if we are still bullish, would be around here at -4. So this is a one drive only market, as you can see. And to me, if we look into the daily, because we are heading to the upside since April, this to me starts to feel like a parabolic move will probably happen, or we are manipulating heavily price here, or eventually a parabolic move will start to happen, because it's kind of hard to frame anything. Let me just take out the drawings here just to yeah, okay. So it's kind of hard to be bearish here. We can eventually be manipulating price around here, but that to me would be too heavy of a manipulation here. And I needed to see a big move to the downside just to engage with something that's not being parabolic. I believe this to me is giving me parabolic vibes here. So price can eventually start to move in a parabolic way quite quickly to the upside. Of course, we have a lot in place with the tariffs, with the China trade war as well. But I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. It's kind of a weird market today, and the last couple of weeks has been kind of hard to frame anything that's not bullish, you know. So yeah, let's get into the 1 minute. The 1 minute is giving us some sort of a move lower here. So let me just check if everything's in place here on the live stream, if the live stream is working well and it's not lagging at all. Yeah, it seems to. Seems like everybody is watching the live stream in a good condition. So 9:30 open, price came back to 8:30 open. Now let's see if we will move a little bit lower, taking out these lows. If I take a look at the 15 minutes, we are tapping the order block here, the 15-minute order block. It would be acceptable for price to come a little bit lower, just taking out some pre-market, some pre-8:30 open lows. But if we are really bullish, we might leave it behind. So let me just mark this as the first presented fair value gap here. So I believe these candles are huge right now. Yeah, 5 handles, not that huge, but yeah, they are big. So we have to keep in mind that we have to be careful with our position size if we manage to take anything today. So let me put my position size calculator here as well. There we go. So yeah, price is now playing inside the opens. So 9:30 open to the upside, 8:30 open to the downside here. We have some relative equal highs that we left above. Not the same on NQ. NQ really did a push to the upside here, while ES just didn't. So this is some sort of a SMT here. And price is really reacting to minus 2.5 standard deviation, taking out from the London lows here. Let's see how far we can retrace. But in fact, I would like to see price come eventually to pre-market lows. This would be a very nice move to some sort of a reversal happening inside the macro. So I'm just waiting to see if something like that will happen for a continuation higher, because I cannot frame anything bearish right now. That would be kind of weird to frame anything bearish. So let's see if we will have some sort of support around 8:30. Let me just check the 15 minutes, because the 15 minutes I will mark this order block here as well. Seems like price is reacting to it, so it might be important to mark this order block as well. Yeah, it has some confluence with 8:30, so I will take this off. Otherwise, my chart will be crowded with levels. Let me just check where is the 15-minute fair value gap here. We have a small one here below pre-market lows. And we have a larger 1 hour fair value gap here, as you can see, with a volume imbalance as well, on the 1 hour time frame. Let me take a look at YM as well, just to see what YM is doing. Lower time frames. Yep. YM is the weakest one here. So pre-market lows are being attacked right now. Yeah, but on the other hand, NQ is trying to push to the upside. Let's get back to ES. And the ES kind of playing in between the pre-market lows and 8:30 low, 8:30 open. So this would be a nice area to retrace back into it and move higher, since we have relative equal highs here on the upside, and honestly NQ is still pushing to the upside. So this might be a good area, or a good zone for some retracement lower and a continuation to the upside. So let's just see. We have the 4 hour order block here as well. Midnight open here as well. Yeah, but right now ES is really pushing to the downside, while NQ is trying to hold price, just like yesterday. Yesterday NQ was moving strongly to the upside and dragging ES with it. Seems like something similar can happen today. On the hourly time frame, we are leaving a wick behind on ES. So we have to keep in mind that we have a US CB consumer confidence news driver at 10 o'clock as well. So yeah, right now we digged deeper into the 15-minute order block. So we are still inside of it, but we are at its lower levels. So price is now taking pre-market highs here, lows here, just like expected. But we have some sort of a divergence in between NQ and ES. NQ is still pushing, ES still moving towards lower prices. So they are not in sync right now. So if they are not in sync, we have to wait until they start to do something similar. But so far, bearish order flow has been respected. So the first presented fair value gap was left untapped. So no retrace back to it. Let's see if we will have some sort of a move towards this 1 hour fair value gap that we marked here. This would be a nice retrace lower if we look into the 1 hour chart, as you can see here. So we are indeed tapping into it. We have this volume imbalance as well. But so far, price is selling off right from the from 9:30. Heavy sell off. Not that heavy. Okay, it opened here, so it's a 12 handle move. Not that heavy, honestly. Let's see if we can form some sort of a breaker around these levels. That would be nice to see, a breaker or eventually an inversion type of setup. But right now, it seems like price wants to dig a little bit lower. And right now, NQ is helping a little bit for price to move lower. Well, at least we were expecting pre-market lows to be taken. So the first direction for the first minutes of the move, we are kind of right. So we were expecting a move lower towards pre-market lows. We still have some more lows to engage with if price really wants to. And on the 15 minutes, it starts. It seems like price is starting to feel a bit heavy here. We have these relative equal lows down below on London lows. So if we take them, then this will be a hard session because we already took buy side, we already took sell side, and this would be a hard session to do anything afterwards. So let me just take here some sort of a projection just to see where we are heading to. But yeah, it seems like it. Price is now trying to reach for -4 standard deviation. Let's see. Let's wait. Because this was a nice move to the downside, honestly. I was expecting something lower, but not that lower. And NQ is starting to react as well. So let's see if this will end up being a fake out to the downside, and now we will continue move higher, or if we will respect this move to the downside and continue its way to the downside. Let me just take a look at YM. YM must be kind of heavy here. Yeah, it kind of moved well. but it seems like ES is definitely the weakest here, because we are kind of near London lows. Right now, midnight open is kind of acting as support. Well, right now, let me take a look at the regular trading hour. So 100% of the opening range gap has been done. We still have this buy side liquidity here on the regular trading hour session to take. We kind of took it already, but this sell side liquidity here, yeah, we kind of took it already. But wouldn't mind to see price coming a little bit lower, eventually to -4 standard deviation, and then react a little bit higher. But at this point, if NQ wants to move lower, I mean, ES will just fall apart. Let me just check the regular trading hour session. Yeah, it's kind of shy here. NQ is kind of shy. Yeah, it went for almost the first quadrant. It went almost for the first quadrant, and we still have London lows here as well. Let me just take a look at the 1 hour for value gap. I know that I'm switching a lot of from a lot of time frames, but I need to see how it kind of looks. Yeah, we are trying to work the 1 hour order block as well. Well, let's see if we will have some sort of a bullish momentum here, because we are inside the macro. I will probably wait for the 10 a.m. news as well. But if price really displaces lower, rejects midnight open, I guess there's a lot of liquidity down here to be taken. So we might switch our bias to something bearish. But I need to see a clean rejection of midnight open here, and eventually NQ following. Because if NQ stays shy like it is now, at any moment it can push ES to the upside as well. Yeah. See, midnight open once again acting as support on price. Damn. I wasn't expecting this. Well, crazy move here, honestly. Really crazy move. But I'm glad I did not went short around here. I was waiting for something and waiting for a bullish reaction. The bullish reaction is kind of here, but not the way I would like to see it. This market has been crazy the last couple of days. What about you guys? What about you? Are you just watching for now, or did you take anything already? So clean rejection, 8:30 open, pre-market lows. Yeah, but this is a crazy behavior from price action, and when you see something like this, you better deleverage your position or or stay away from it, honestly. Because right now I feel like my trust issues have been activated, so I don't know. Well, at this point, NQ didn't went lower. It's just hanging near all-time highs, while ES is struggling to get above those pre-market lows. But at the same time, it's holding midnight open here. So this is a tough market condition, honestly. It's been a while since I'm I'm watching this happening. Were you guys into something here? Were you guys into some sort of a trade around these levels, especially on ES? Just let me take a look at what YM just did. Yeah, YM was kind of a little bit more shy with the wick, but ES was kind of a beast here. A 10 handle candle without no reason. So uh, it was pre news driver, and 10 a.m. news driver didn't do anything. So this is really weird. Really weird price action. Yeah, but so far nothing clean here. I guess the market is still debating on what to do. And honestly, I feel secure in this type of environment, honestly. I can't even um I can't even know what happened. I don't even know what happened to make this huge candle here to the upside. But I guess it is what it is. I clearly was expecting something bullish to happen here, but not in this type of way. So it seems like this was just a fake out to the downside and a seek for regular trading hours sell side liquidity. And it seems to me that price is now ready to eventually try to fill this wick and try to go after some sort of sell side, some sort of buy side liquidity, probably these all time highs. So there's only one fair value gap, which is this one right here, a bullish one. We have a small one right here as well. So price is now trying to get above these pre-market lows, get above the 4-hour order block. Let me just take a look at at the 4-hour as well. So we went down. We did about, we did about 75% of the order block. But it's hard to frame anything here, honestly. With this back and forth action and looking at NQ is inside of a range bound market right now. Let me just take a look at YM, if YM is just pushing to the upside or if it's just ranging as well. Yeah, so far, honestly, I'm not inclined to anything. My initial plan was price taking out pre-market at lows, eventually coming a little bit lower, faking some sort of a inversion type of fair value gap, and then move higher. But the way it is acting, it's not. There's no clear breaker. There's no clear fair value gap that's been respected. A lot of damage is being made here with the wicks. So I feel like even if I position myself here on a long, I don't feel that my stop loss will be kind of secured around here. I would have to push my stop loss probably below midnight open. And even like that, I'm not sure because these lows are kind of clean as well. So that's why I'm kind of indecisive and undecided about what to do, honestly. Because at this time, if I would ask myself, would you be surprised if your stop loss would get hit? I would probably say no. I wouldn't be surprised. So that's a sign that I probably I'm better if I'm not in a trade. Good morning, Pablo. Not good morning. It's good afternoon as well already. It's 2 p.m. and it's 3 p.m. where you're living. So, what do you say about this market, Pablo? Kind of crazy. Kind of a crazy morning here on ES. It kind of sold off right at 9:30, but then it just wicked to the upside violently, and now it kind of stopped. So NQ is doing nothing. Yeah, crazy market, right? it's not been easy the last couple of days, but at least we are we are not interacting in bad conditions, you know. Yeah, it is leaving. Yes, it's leaving liquidity here. We had some, I wouldn't call this a purge, but we had on the regular trading hour session, we had these relative equal lows here, which we kind of, okay, we touched them, but I wouldn't call this a purge of sell side liquidity here. And honestly, there's a lot of liquidity here down below. So I wouldn't feel safe to long this as well. And we were about, let me just check, 5 handles away from London lows as well. So if price really does this, I probably will leave it, because I really would like to see probably another drive low, reaching for -4 standard deviation, and eventually to London lows at this point, and then do something like that. And if you look into NQ is doing a terrible job as well. But NQ, it's kind of acceptable on NQ, because on NQ we kind of tapped a 15-minute fair value gap and we respected it. So it's kind of acceptable for NQ to not go lower. But for ES, it's kind of weird not to go lower before heading higher, because my expectations are a bullish continuation. I said in the first minutes of the stream that this type of market, unless we are doing a big manipulation, this type of market is giving me parabolic vibes, honestly. If you look into the daily or even on the weekly, it seems like a parabolic move is about to happen. And if that happens, well, a lot of sell side liquidity will be left behind every day, and it will be extremely difficult to trade on a intraday basis because your main rule, which is for a bullish movement, you want to see sell side liquidity being purged. Your main condition, I mean, your main condition will not be fulfilled. So it can happen that this will be hard these next couple of days or eventual weeks. I don't know. It seems like NQ wants to start or to continue the move to the upside. So if it does so, it will drag ES with it. But right now, ES is trying to just to work this 1 hour fair value gap. But yeah, it's been a long time since I see the market like this. Well, I'm expecting a purge lower, honestly. At least a wick to the downside, just to purge some sort of sell side liquidity, and then a continuation higher, because honestly, there's nothing bearish on these types of charts. But yeah, I'm expecting the first minutes of the FOMC probably move price lower, just waking it heavily to the downside, and then price will continue move to its all-time highs. But yeah, we are just I mean, I'm just watching this here. Sorry. Yeah, we are just speculating. So FOMC, it's always a manual intervention um, event. So it can do it or it cannot. It depends on how it's going to be manipulated and who is going to manipulate it. So it's just like a coin toss. It's a manual intervention event, so there's nothing we can work with on a prior state. So we will have to let it run, and then eventually 30 minutes after, or eventually 1 hour after FOMC, we start to see some sort of seek for liquidity. But if you try to guess where FOMC will head, yeah, that's a coin toss, honestly. I guess there's no wedge on these types of concepts that will say to us that okay, FOMC will do this or do that. We have no idea about that type of market manipulation that Powell or those boys will do on the market. So, but yeah, ES is struggling here to get above and reclaim the 4 hour order block. I guess if we look into the 4 hour chart, we are still playing inside of it. And looking at the state of things, we might stay here for a while. So price leaving some relative equal highs above, I mean, but we still have this wick here. And usually when we leave wicks behind, price tend to at least go for the midpoint of them and try to seek some liquidity out of them. But yeah, this is a beautiful barcode right now. Just let me take a look here at gold, for example, just to see how it's behaving. Yeah, I miss these runs because lately we don't have these runs on Q or ES, especially inside our kill zones. I kind of miss them. I really kind of miss them. Let me just take here a look. So 930, it opened right here, manipulated lower inside the fair value gap, and boom to the upside, taking out relative equal highs here. It's kind of a cleaner market, honestly. Looking at the 15 minutes. Yeah, metals are metals are retracing heavily, correcting some of that big push that they have been doing lately. This parabolic move to the upside. And I feel like ES and NQ will do something similar. I'm getting that type of vibes, honestly. But let's get back to ES. Yeah, but ES is still doing nothing here. And Pablo, are you talking about ES? It's leaving trend liquidity. It's like the bottom of a triangle. Exactly what's doing in a 1 minute. It should break down there. Let's see. Yeah, we might. Because there's still a lot of liquidity here, and we are kind of struggling to go to the upside. But lately we have been fading all-time highs, and it's not working. We have been fading them, and honestly, it's kind of hard to fade all-time highs when we are in a bullish market like this. See price moving to the upside here. Let's see if it just wants to take 50% of the wick, or if it will drive towards the first presented fair value gap. But honestly, this to me is nothing. I have no game plan for this, honestly. It's just a barcode. And if you look into NQ is moving sideways as well. So let me take another look at YM. Yeah, YM is kind of, seems like YM is doing lower highs here. So we can eventually expect that this BC will not hold for long. Something like this would be nice to see. It would drag ES lower as well. But yeah, ES is just acting weird here. Not giving us any chance to engage with. And if we take a look at our projection from London manipulation, so price kind of respected it quite well. Let me just, so minus 0.5, so it kind of stopped right here. -1, it kind of stopped right there. Minus 1.5, it kind of stopped right there. So the projection itself, it's on point, as you can see here, but when we have a move from to -2 points standard deviation, and we expect some sort of a retrace lower, we actually don't expect a retrace to back into 0, and we kind of did it. So it's kind of a strange market here. We could eventually expect something as a retrace into these levels, which would have some confluence with the pre-market lows here. And yeah, that to me would be acceptable. But we went way lower, and then we kind of missed London lows, which is kind of odd as well. So yeah, guys, I'm just watching for now. Some minutes ago, we said that I was telling you guys that I would eventually take something like this, but I would not feel very comfortable leaving my stop around here. But yeah, it's kind of working. At this point, we would have about 1 hour. Taking too long for 1 hour, but it's working, and we are trying to work above the 4 hour order block as well. But at the same time, NQ is starting to look a bit weaker. So this might be just a drive to 50% of the wick, and then a move lower here, just like Pablo was saying. Yeah, I can see it, Pablo. I can see it, but he has kind of triggered some trust issues here with this type of price action. Why should I trust price action, right? If the last couple of minutes, which is about 40 minutes in, price has been doing this, why should I start trust it now? That's the way I tend to see things. and questioning yourself about doing some you should try to do this exercise whenever you want to open a trade. Just ask yourself about just like this, will I be surprised if I see my stop getting hit? And if your answer to that question is probably, or not quite surprised, well, if you're not quite surprised, then you should not take that trade. Your answer to that question should be, hell yeah, I would be hella surprised about it. And at the moment, it's kind of, I'm not sure about that question. I feel like I would not be surprised. Oh yeah. Seems like Yes is leaving the order block behind. Or at least trying to. But it has 830 open here as well, which can eventually act as a resistance. We are 20 minutes away from from the next macro. So eventually we can expect something from the next macro. What about you guys? Are you trading something, or are you just watching? Are you long? Are you short? Are you break even right now? Yeah, it seems like NQ is starting to move lower. But right now, ES seems it doesn't want to. Seems like ES is taking the lead now, and it's trying to not let the indices go down. But let's see. Let me just take a measure of this wick here. And yeah, we went for 50% of it, just like I was saying. So let's see if we can get a closure below. At this point, we will have this can eventually act as a breaker. Let me take a look at YM. Not in sync. Pushing higher. Yeah, tough market conditions, honestly. Very tough conditions. Well, but at least we are not losing money in this type of environment. That's also a trader's job, is to stay away and know how to stay away and know how and when to stay away from the markets. And these last couple of days, I mean, they have been terrible. They have been quite terrible. Yeah, this breaker makes no sense here. And so far, the long position that I eventually marked around here, well, it's prevailing in a ugly delivery, but it's prevailing. It's a very ugly delivery, but it's there. There we go. We are pushing. Let's see if we can have a closure above 830. Very ugly delivery here. So 1050 to 1110. Let's see what will happen in this macro if we will have some sort of a model or some sort of an opportunity to do something. Because right now conditions are not ideal for us. Oh well. Well, 830 acting as a resistance. Moving price back a little bit below. Let's see if these imbalances will somehow hold here. But yeah, guys, it's kind of hard. Kind of hard to frame anything here in these types of conditions. Nice displacement here to the downside. Seems like NQ is reacting as well to the downside. Yeah, NQ seems a bit cleaner right now. It seems like it wants to deliver lower. Because we still have pre-market lows on NQ to take. So it would be nice to see NQ deliver lower right now. It would be a trigger for ES to move lower as well. Let me just check YM. We are still 10 minutes away from macro. But I would like to see YM lose some steam as well. Because right now YM is pushing and it's behaving like the stronger sister. And I would like to see some weakness here from the stronger sister, because if the stronger sister starts to get weak, then every one of these indices will push lower as well. Yeah, guys. Any position yet, or are you still observing? I haven't seen your comment in the chat, Pablo. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It seems like a sausage, right? Oh my god. Yeah, it's kind of a hard read right now. ES is really driving people nuts. But let's get a bit objective here. So this was the last move to the upside. So this was the manipulation leg, and then we distribute lower, right? We didn't reach for -4 standard deviation, but then we retraced back into -1 to -1.5 and reacted in a bearish way. So, in an objective way, looking at price action, what will follow this retrace? Uh, Usually a move lower, right? So we have a bearish fair value gap here, which can stay intact since we have these bullish ones here. We also have this breaker right here. So in fact, price can eventually come to the breaker and move lower towards -4 standard deviation or eventually London lows. But yeah, this is what I can see from price right now. I'm not sure if I'm right or not, but this to me is it's the most logical thing to expect from price right now. But giving it the way it's behaving lately, I'm not sure if I trust this analysis. And we are above a 1 hour fair value gap. We are tapping a 4-hour order block, going against high time frames. It's always a big risk. But it seems like yeah, it went for 50% of the breaker and it kind of reacted in a bearish way. So it seems to me like we are heading lower. We are 5 minutes We still have 5 minutes before the macro. Just watching for now. Yeah, not liking how NQ is reacting to this bearish leg here. Yeah. Yeah, not liking this, honestly. Let's wait a bit more. 3 minutes more. Just to see if price will do another move to the upside, another run, or if it's just like this. Yeah, I feel NQ is a bit cleaner right now. But look at this. It is a bit cleaner, but honestly, it's not giving us any chance to interact with. But at least we are patient enough to not get into something right away. I believe the Miguel from some month ago, he would be all over the place seeing this. And I'm kind of calm right now because I'm not expecting anything from the market in these types of conditions. So it helps a lot not expecting anything. So 8:30 open once again here. We are knocking on its door once again. So yeah, as I was saying, this short move was kind of against a high time frame PD arrays. So that's why price is reacting like this, and it's not giving us that clean move to the downside as we expected. It might as well invert here and creep higher. But so far, price is moving inside the breaker. Let's see if it wants to respect it or not. It seems like it wants to invert the breaker and move price to the upside once again. Let me just check what YM is doing once again. If it is pushing, yeah, it is pushing. It is pushing to the upside, so this macro will probably offer us something higher, it seems like, because right now we are inverting this bearish breaker. This could eventually be the manipulation lower. We are respecting this bullish fair value gap here. I will take the bearish one out because we have some form of a bullish breaker around here inside the 4-hour order block. So this might be a move to the upside here. Continuation to the upside. Because if I look into NQ, despite not giving us the, let me just check here. If it just took some form of regular trading hour session sell side liquidity. It didn't, but it went for 50% of the opening range gap. So it might be enough for NQ to start moving higher right now. And honestly, all this liquidity, everybody has been trying to short. So NQ is prepared to probably shoot to the upside. I don't know if you guys are seeing the same here or not, but this seems like a bit cleaner now in the bullish scenario. And ES is also trying to work the inversion of this bearish PD array. So I will mark this as an inversion already. The only problem here is that we are trading below 830. So if I would open a long position here, I know that 830 will act as a resistance on price. And usually when I open positions like this, I usually get my stop activated. But let's see if we will have this PD array be inverted or if we will continue down, because 830 open, a rejection like this on 830 open can really move price below, despite having higher time frame PD arrays here. Let me switch back to YM just to, and now YM is, oh my God. Come on. Well. So reacting here, but there's a couple of PD arrays right now. So there's not much we can do, guys. But if you guys liking the stream so far, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed yet, I invite you to be subscribed. I try to be here every day from Monday to Friday around 9:20 New York local time. So if you guys are liking the stream and if you guys like the way I read price, yeah, just give it a like and it helps somehow to get some more people around and to make the channel grow a little bit. Yeah, this one is failing as an inversion. But I will take this out right now. So 8:30, as I was saying, whenever I try to engage with price in these types of conditions, I usually tend to get stopped out. And eventually I would be if I had engaged with it. Price once again trying to move lower. Yeah, yes, moving lower right now inside a macro. So probably this will clearly invalidate the bullish scenario, and or we will stay inside the range, or that scenario, the bearish scenario that I was explaining a couple of minutes ago, where price just goes lower, it retraces back to the silver bullet zone, and it continues lower. Yeah, this might be the case. But the way it's presenting itself, it's not the cleanest way, honestly. So that's why I'm not trusting this analysis. It's not that I'm not trusting my knowledge. It's not that I'm trusting this market because it's not been trustable the last couple of minutes. And when I mean minutes, it's been like that for an hour right now. So why should I trust it now, right? Let me just check the higher time frames. Oh, if only we could have a closure above this 15-minute candle. This to me would be a back to an order, a bullish order flow. But nothing here. Still nothing. So we need at least a closure above 8:30 open just to be bullish, or a closure below these lows right here just to be bearish. So price is just mumbling around here, as you can see. Nothing that we can work with. In the meantime, YM must be doing something. Yeah, not that much. Let's see if YM gives us another, if it puts some fuel into the fire just to move the indices to the upside. But yeah, oh well, guys. Yeah, it seems like we will have a flat macro once again, just like the 950, which is flat as well. Flat or empty, whatever you want to call it. I used to call it, or I mean, I usually call it empty macros. So whenever we have an empty macro, a 950 empty macro, or eventually a 1050, and if we have both, usually the the movement will happen in between 11:15 to 11:30, or in between 11 to 11:30. That's what I've been noticing, and I've seen that that's been a pattern lately. It's really been a pattern. So the move, which I believe it's bullish, um, the move which I'm expected to be bullish, it might deliver after 11, which we are already, but let's give it 10 more minutes, because usually whenever we have these empty macros, the move will start only after 11:15, in between 11:15 to 11:30. Let's see if this will happen once again, or if this is just a day prior to FOMC without any type of action, which can eventually happen as well. So what about your trading session, guys? Are you green, red, flat on the day? Did you take some position? Are you just watching, just reading price? Um, NQ really seems like it's way cleaner. Seems like it wants to displace higher, taking out that all those tops from, and I will show it to you here. Yeah, I just marked it here. See, at this point on NQ, we managed to retrace back into 50% of the opening range gap. We kind of inverted this bearish fair value gap here, so we worked it for a bit, and now everybody who has been selling, they might see that, okay, my stop is in danger right now because price really wants to take all these stops that are placed here from people that has been selling all morning. So it will happen that price will eventually come to the upside and take out all of these stops, all this liquidity on NQ. It seems cleaner here. We also have this bullish fair value gap, which is acting as support on price, and eventually the breaker here as well. So this is some type of a unicorn setup on NQ. Not that clean on ES, but on NQ it's quite clean. See, ES is it's just ranging for now. It has a lot of resistance here from the 8:30 open. So that's why I decided to stay away from it and only interact with it if I see a cleaner closure above 8:30. And yeah, yes, moving towards lows once again. Let me take a look once again at YM just to, yeah, kind of a mixed feeling here. Right now, I feel like ES is somehow time distorting, which means it's just waiting for something and just generating liquidity um, to start the run. Um, but it's taking a while now. It's been here since it's been here since 9:50, and it's 11:15. So we are just observing right now because there's nothing to work with on ES, and it will probably stay like this if nothing happens right in between 11:50 to 11:30. See, price is just ranging here. There's nothing that we can work with. Let me take a look at gold just to see how it's behaving. Yeah, clean run to the upside. Price action on gold has been way cleaner lately since it started to retrace lower, and it's giving us those runs. Clean run here. 9:30 we opened, we manipulated lower, moved to the upside. Here you have your breaker, and it's moving. It's not the cleanest way because those retraces are kind of hard, but yeah. Meanwhile, yes, it's just looks like garbage, honestly. It's kind of a boring session, guys. I know, but there's no action as well. It might be because of FOMC, tomorrow's FOMC. It must be because or we are just not lucky enough. Tomorrow FOMC will be at, yeah, it will be at 1:30 p.m. So I will probably miss the New York AM session. I'm not sure, because the rules say that we should not engage with anything prior to FOMC. And since FOMC is a big manipulative news driver, I can still tape read the New York AM session. But we'll probably not take any trades, because I will eventually not expect anything to happen as well. It's just like that prior to FOMC. So the rules say that you should not engage with price action prior to it. And there's a time window after FOMC that you should look for. So it's the 30 minutes after FOMC, you should start to look for sell side liquidity and buy side liquidity that's untapped or unpurged or unreached, and you should aim for those levels, but only 30 minutes after, or in between 30 minutes in between to 30 minutes and 1 hour. So I'm not sure if I will stream the New York AM session, because I'm not expecting anything to happen, honestly. It's just like today. So nothing is happening. We just had the first run right at the open, which was a one-sided run. You can't do anything with that. There was no trigger, there was no model, there was no retracement, nothing. Just a flush to the downside, leaving bearish PD arrays untapped. So there's nothing that you can do unless you would short it blindly and expecting it to run at least to pre-market lows. But that to me would say that you have no rules engaging with price action like this. And it would be a sign that you are trading with no rules. And after it, nothing happened. We had this crazy move here, which was like a red flag to me. And it kind of activated my trust issues here. This move right here at 9:56. And yeah, after this move, I was not expecting anything from price action, honestly. Because you should look for red flags in price action as well, in the market behavior and in price behavior. And whenever you see something like this should be a red flag to you. And those red flags usually, they should say to you, stay away from this, because I will hurt you. And yeah, it would have hurt me if I decided to engage with anything, because there's no direction in the market, as you can see. Price is just stalling here for about, it's almost 2 hours, 1 hour and 30 minutes stalling, just stalling. So I talked about a possible move that will happen in between 11:15 to 11:30, and it's 11:22, and the market is still inside the range, but I don't know, it seems like it wants to move a little bit, probably a little bit lower, because we left London lows and tapped. Especially here on ES. But at the same time, it makes sense for NQ to go higher, because I can see that low resistance liquidity run happening as well. We might manipulate a little bit lower on NQ first and then see something higher. Yeah, I will probably stay here for about 7 minutes more until 11:30 just to see if something happens. And then I will probably wrap it up, and tomorrow will be another day. Yeah, so far nothing. We are approaching, we have about 5 minutes more. ES wants to push a little bit lower, while NQ is still hanging. If I take a look here, it's still hanging and trying to push now above. So we are still respecting this inverted fair value gap here, as you might see. So the bullishness is still there. We just need a push now to the upside, but ES is not allowing it to happen. So we are kind of do opposite things on indices. And whenever you have a market that's pushing one side and the other one is pushing to another side, you should stay away from it because it's a low probability environment that you are facing. So at this time, ES is moving lower, NQ is trying to move higher, and as you can see, we might face a low probability situation unless NQ gives us the move lower. Well, so far in between 11:15 and 11:30 we had this lag here. Nothing that we could, it's just 5 handles. So, but at the same time we took some more lows on ES. We took these 10 a.m. lows. NQ is still trying to go above. Let's see if ES wants to do the same, since it took these lows already. You take a look at the Dow. Yeah, the Dow has been moving lower. M&Q, he's still holding, but look for how long we are holding here. It's crazy. 45 minutes. Imagine that you would be long here. Your stop loss would be somewhere around here. Your entry could eventually be inside this fair value gap, the bullish one. So imagine if you would have taken this. Always near break even, just a little profit, break even, even if you had projected yourself around break even, you probably would have been stopped out already. So it's not something that we can play with, especially when ES is doing what it's doing, which is this. It's like dragging M&Q to the downside, because I feel like NQ wants to move higher, ES wants to move lower towards these lows, and they are just fighting each other to see who's the heaviest and who's the strongest. But oh well, guys. Seems like there's not a session without any trades. At some point, I'm glad I did not take anything, because honestly, there was nothing to take. We just have to accept it. I mean, I will not even start that speech where, oh, but it's kind of frustrating or whatever. It is what it is. So I will not even start that type of speech. We have to accept these conditions, and we know that these conditions, they have been hard to trade with, and they will remain like this for a couple more weeks, I believe. And if we are in fact in a parabolic way, a move to the upside, it will be kind of harder to trade. But yeah, I believe that's the best way you can learn as well. So if you face a hard environment, whenever that hard environment stops, that will be easier for you to trade as soon as we stop that hard environment. So just accept it. So 11:15 to 11:30, and something really happened here. So a small move, but way cleaner than everything that we saw until now. But it can't happen. The price will just be around midnight open here and retrace once again to the upside. There we go. So the move is happening as anticipated. Whenever we have these bad macros, usually the delivery starts at in between 11:15, and it's really happening. Yeah, then it will deliver to London lows, as you can see. So once again, no opportunity to get in. Price retracing right back. Let's just see if this fair value gap right at midnight open will eventually hold or not. Because right now we still have London lows. But according to NQ, it doesn't seem like it. Yeah, right now NQ is pushing. And will probably not allow ES to go to London lows. See, this is really messed up market. Well, guys, I believe I will end the stream here. There's nothing that I can work with. Yeah, I believe it was a pleasure once again to be with you guys here. Unfortunately, nothing that we could work with, no trades, but yeah, it's just a reality that we have to accept as a traders. So probably tomorrow it will be a little bit better. Try not to engage prior to FOMC. Just wait until 1:30 p.m. It's the best choice to make as tomorrow's price action, because you will face a big manipulative event with a lot of manual intervention, and yeah, you can eventually not interact in the prior moments of it. Stay safe. That's all I have to say to you guys. Honestly, stay safe, because this type of market is not meant to be traded in a normal way, in a normal condition. So stay safe. Hope to see you tomorrow once again. And yeah, have a great day. And don't try to force anything, okay? Thank you. Thank you for being there. Just hit the like button. If you're not subscribed yet, just subscribe to the channel. And yeah, hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you. Stay safe.